Hello and welcome to my first video tutorial where I will be showing you how to set up a basic Kubernetes cluster on the ThreeFold grid. Once it's up and running, I will also show you how to access the Kubernetes dashboard from within your local machine's browser. First, we will head over to the ThreeFold playground. Make sure you've got some TFT balance in your account. You can use this QR code to send some tokens over here using the ThreeFold Connect app. Next, we will go over to the Kubernetes widget. This one is based on a lightweight K3s instance. For this tutorial, I will just use a minimal deployment. Depending on your needs, you may want to get some more CPU cores, RAM and storage. We could use the planetary network to access our cluster, but I prefer to use a public IP version 4 address to do this. Next, we will choose a suitable node for our master deployment. For now, I will not add any worker nodes to our setup. That will be done later. Click deploy and wait for a few minutes. In the meantime, let's check out the Kubernetes dashboard documentations of K3s. We need those two files that I highlight here. As you can see on the right hand side in the terminal window, I have already created those files. Here's the first. And now close this one and check out the second. Great. After a bit more time, our deployment is ready to connect. Here we can see an overview of our master node. We will simply copy the public IP to SSH into the VM where K3s is running. Alright, we are in. Now let's first run apt update so we can install up-to-date packages. Alright, let's wait a bit. And done. Alright. Now let's just install Nano so we can easily edit files on our remote machine. Alright. Once done, we will open the K3s configuration file and paste in the public IP in the line where we set our cluster's server address. Alright. So let's go over here again, copy the IP, go over to the terminal, locate the line where it says server, and in there we replace the local loopback IP with the public IP of our Kubernetes cluster. In the next step, we will copy the entire contents of the file. We need this in order to connect to the remote cluster from within our local machine. So let's go ahead and show the file contents. Once everything is shown, I will just increase the size of the window here so I can better copy everything. Alright, so let's just go ahead and highlight all of that and press Command C to copy it to our clipboard. In the next step, we have to paste it to the appropriate file on our local machine. Alright, so let's head over to our local computer and edit the kubecontrol config file. We will paste the contents from the K3s configuration file into our local kubecontrol config file. In this process, we have to make sure to get rid of any unnecessary line breaks that might have occurred during the copy-paste process. Once this is done, we can connect to our remote cluster from within our local machine using kubecontrol. Let's simply start off by using kubecontrol to see what is currently running on our remote cluster. Just type the command that you can see in the terminal. So as you can see, quite a few things have already been set up and are running. Now we want to set up the Kubernetes dashboard. Let's simply head over to the documentation again and follow the instructions that are provided here. In order to proceed, we need curl. So let's go ahead and install this on our remote machine. Okay, so that should be done any second now. Once we are ready and have curl installed, we can proceed by copying and pasting the commands from the left-hand side from the documentation into our terminal on the remote machine. We have to start by declaring those two variables, otherwise the final command will not work. when you paste in the final command, make sure to not include the sudo. Otherwise it will probably not work. At least that's what happened to me. So now we will come back to those two files that we have already looked at earlier. As you can see, they are still in my local machine, so let's go ahead and use them. Simply copy the command, again without sudo, to set up the user configuration. Head over to the terminal on your local machine where the files are located, paste the command and execute it. Alright, we are almost done, so let's do the final steps. We have to obtain the bearer token. Let's just copy and paste this. And there the token is. And finally, we have to run kubectl proxy so that we can access the dashboard from our local browser. Alright, so now we just have to copy this into our local machine's browser and we will be presented the Kubernetes dashboard. Now we just copy the bearer token and paste it into the corresponding field in the browser. Awesome! Finally we are done. We can access and manage our remote cluster using the Kubernetes dashboard from our local machine. As you can see, all kinds of things are already running on our cluster. That's it for this first video. In the next video I will be showing you how to deploy an Nginx web server to the ThreeFold grid.